But you don't hear them talking about COVID. COVID. To be specific, COVID-19. That name gets further and further away from China as opposed to calling it the Chinese virus. And despite the fact that I have done a phenomenal job with it.
Thank you very much. I would like to begin by announcing some important developments in our war against the Chinese virus.
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all, no, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate.
Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you.
Sir, why are you saying that to me, specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
That's not a nasty question.
Please go ahead.
Why does it matter?
It's got all different names. Wuhan. Wuhan was catching on. Coronavirus, right? Kung flu, yeah. Kung flu.
Why does he use racist phrases like the Kung flu?
The president doesn't. What the president does do is point to the fact that the origin of the virus is China.
And we've seen over 100,000 people die because of the China Wuhan virus.
It's racist. That's what the media is talking about in the middle of a life-threatening pandemic.
Trump has been beating up on China. How does that make you feel?
Video going viral of another frightening attack targeting an Asian American. This one happening today in San Francisco. A woman simply standing next to a lamppost with her small shopping cart when a man walked up and started hitting her in the face. She's 70 years old. She suffered a bruised face and a swollen eye.
Alarming videos show unprovoked attacks against the Asian American community during the pandemic with forceful shoves.
You know how many people can't stand you being here? Great. You play games. We don't play games.
Oh, what kind of game are you playing?
I play games where you get to death.
Asian piece of
Oh my God. North Sacramento teacher pulling at her eyes during a live Zoom class to describe Asian people.
No one's gonna pay attention to you. Because you're dumb and you're a stupid blue Asian-haired girl.
This morning, 8 grieving families and countless communities reeling after Tuesday night's deadly shooting spree in Georgia.
This is truly horrifying. 8 people dead, 6 of them Asian women. What's been sad about this story is not just the loss of life, but all of the auxiliary things that have been happening around the story.
The suspect did take responsibility for the shootings. He said that early on once we began the interviews with him. He claims that these, and as the chief said, this is still early, but he does claim that it was not racially motivated.
Seeing the shooter say, oh, it wasn't racism, it was sex addiction. First of all, you, man. You killed 6 Asian people. 6 Asian women were killed.
The words of Captain Baker seem to have framed the discussion.
Our country has had a long history of sexual violence against Asian women. And so for the police officer and the national narrative to act as if this is not something based upon race is a little bit of a problem.
In a way, what makes it even more painful is that we saw it coming. We see these things happening. People have been warning. People in the Asian community have been tweeting. They've been saying, please help us. We're getting punched in the streets. We're getting slurs written on our doors. We're getting people coming up to us just saying, thanks for COVID. Thanks for spoiling the world. Thanks. We've seen this happening.
I hate that I have to say I belong. I'm American as you. Why do I have to justify that I'm American? Why? Because of the way I look? You're judging me by my skin color?
Centering his narrative instead of the survivors or the victims' narratives is also a part of the huge racial violence that this country is essentially guilty of.